Good evening this March 20th in 2026. Here in my state, the weather is just going from cold to warm to cold to warm. Oh my goodness, the weather. But let's talk about STLFlix. I love to talk about STLFlix. It is one of my favorite sites for 3D printing, and I have not looked at what will be the community idea yet. I am looking forward to this, so I wanted to share it with you as I see it and see how well did they hit it on the mark. Let's take a look. So for this week, it's supposed to be book nooks and reading accessories, and I think I've missed a couple of days that I haven't talked about what's going on STLFlix. So let's see what we got. So it's supposed to be book nooks and reading accessories. Let's see how they did for this week. So I'm going to go to drops. And let's go to, looks like it's this one, but I'm going to go to, let me go to what they did on Wednesday first. Oh my goodness, look at this. What is this? A carousel that actually moves? What? Oh my gosh. I mean, they're so cute. Look at these little unicorns. Rainbow glimmer, and their legs move. Oh my goodness, that is adorable. I am going to have to print these for some family members with some kids. Look at how adorable these are. These are amazing. Oh my gosh, the colors you could do. And then the carousel. I have to do the carousel. This is so cute. Man, STLFlix, you did it again. Oh my gosh, that is adorable. Boy, I love having a membership to them. Look at that. I can't wait to see what happens on there. Okay. Let's go. Okay, let's see what the drop is for the book nooks. Here we go. Dragon Library. Oh my gosh. Look at this. This is beautiful. So we have wow, that's really cool. An adjustable book holder, so you can it adjusts. Okay, that's really cool. Oh my gosh, the colors that you could use with that. I recently just ordered this 12-pack of filament on Amazon, and I forgot the name of the filament, but it's a brand new company that I haven't tried yet, but they only wanted $132 for 12 colors. And a lot of those were tricolors or gradients. And so normally if you order a gradient or a tricolor, you're going to pay $20 a row. So for 12 rows to get them for $132, that's just a little over $10 a row. Just a little over. And so I feel like that was worth it. Well, it's going to depend on the filament. So I'm hoping I got a really good deal and that my filament is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great. I'll put the link of it down below if you're interested in getting 12 colors for that price. If I'll put it in my thing. I'm not a big fan of putting sales things, but I'll do this one. This one, I think for that price, for the gradients and the multicolors, we should definitely check it out if you're looking for filament and you have that kind of money to spend on filament. Now, I did order my Polymaker filament this week, which I am pretty excited about what I got from them, because I got a wood gradient, and I'll talk about that here in a minute, but let me get back to this. So what sparked my brain on the filaments? Because this dragon, I mean, look at what I can do with this dragon. I bought some stone filament, some stone gradient filament a couple of weeks ago that I could use for that stone. I also bought some dark gray. The stone filament that I bought was more on the brown kind of stones, almost like castle kind of colors. It goes from a very, very light gray to browns to the reddish kind of brick. And so it's really beautiful. I can't wait to see that. I think that would be really cool here, but that dragon, I could really use some of that filament, thinking of the colors that I got on this. And right now I'm really into the gold and black dragons because I have been reading Fourth Wing, and so a lot of the dragons that I've been printing are gold based. So got this. And now look at this pen. What is this? A pen holder for a journal, for a book, and they used a dual color. The dual colors, if you're new to 3D printing, what they are is they are two colors that are printed on the same filament, but they don't change. So there's what's called gradient filament that changes from one color to another. But a dual color is one that has both colors all the time on the same filament. And so when you turn it, the color changes as you turn it because the color on the filament as it's printed, one side is red or one side is blue or one side is one color and one side is the other. So when you print it, it creates this effect that when you turn your object that you've printed, it will show that color change, like one side of the filament string to the other side of the filament string. So it is really different than the gradient, but it's really kind of cool because it keeps that same color, keeps the same two colors throughout, and that's kind of cool how that works. But there is the gradient colors, which sometimes are like blue to white or gray to white, and sometimes they have three colors, sometimes they have rainbow colors if you've ever seen those, and they have them in pastels and they have them in rainbows. Just the amount of filament colors that are available now, I just have to say thank you to all the people in the world that are creating them because I just love all the colors and it's so neat. You can get metals and you can get marble, and there's just so many different metal colors and so many different marble colors, and it's just so neat what you can do with filament nowadays with the amount of color that is available. And look at this. So that's really cool. A pen holder or a pencil holder. You could use that on a journal. That's pretty dang neat to me. And I like this book. And look at this little, I've seen these before. I'm guessing they're pretty good because I've seen a lot of these thumb holders for book readers. I've never used one, but I've seen a bunch of those on not just 3D prints, but I've seen them in acrylic, I've seen them in resin, I've seen them in a bunch of different textures and different types of materials. And so I'm guessing they're pretty good. Now that looks beautiful to me. And again, the colors that you could really create with that. I'm so lucky to have my Prusa XL 5 head because I don't have a lot of waste when I do 5 colors. And I'm looking forward to the Prusa Core 1 Plus when it gets the induction. That's going to be really nice because that's going to go up to 8. Now, I have been eyeing the H2C because they say that it's a lot less waste, but I'd really like to see how much less waste is it really. But I am looking forward to the Prusa Core 1 Plus or the Core 1L and getting that induction nozzles on there. That's going to be amazing. And so I think for this, this is a single color right here that they have in their picture. And this one here, let me just go ahead and just kind of pull up those pictures. But I could see myself doing many, many different colors on this and just kind of going into the slicer and painting it and putting some detail in it and some depth into it. Sometimes if you're lucky, depending on the single color that you have, you'll get some depth just because of shadows and those types of things. But there are a lot of like dual colors and gradient colors that you can get a lot of depth. But I think sometimes adding your own depth and really making it like a masterpiece or a set of pictures is really cool. So I'm probably going to think about that and work on that and see where I end up. So that'd be super nice. So I'm going to work on that. But I probably am going to print one of these just to try. All right, so let's go back to where we were. Let's get out of this. me get this back where, and we're just gonna, did I go here? Okay. So now we have this. Let's take a look here. Wow, I've made this before in a slug one, which I like the way the slug looked, but then I just really didn't like it. Look at that. You could change the letters on there, so you could make it, oh my goodness. You can make it your family letter or your first name. That's super adorable. And it looks like a tavern sign. Okay, so that's fire. That is so fire. That is so good. Oh man, they really hit the mark on this, creating the book. And look at this book nook. Look at this, guys. There's so many cool book nooks out there, but this one looks really good. One thing I noticed right off the bat about this is this could create a double book nook. So you could mirror this and then have both sides of the dragon on your book nook. Here's another one I got to print. I tell you, my printer just goes. It just is constantly printing things. And I do print some things for myself, but I like to print things for other people too. But this is going to be for me because this is so cute. It's so cute. Look at that. I wonder how they did those nails, because they've got, do you see that nail color change? Did they picked something really nice. They got a lot of depth to that color. I wonder how they got that. That's really cool looking. I wonder if they hand painted it or if they 3D printed that color. I'm going to have to go in there and see, because that's pretty cool looking. And yeah, that's really good. How did they do that? Oh yeah, they hand painted it. Okay. I was like, that is a lot of depth to color, but they hand painted it. So that makes it. And does it actually, sometimes it tells you that painted model. Yeah, so it tells you there. Because I was really like, wow, that is some amazing color. Now, I have been able to create a model that looks like it's painted. And I have it and I painted it inside of the Prusa slicer. Now, I wouldn't recommend using a multicolor printer, and I have that in if you guys check out my videos, and if anybody ever wanted that STL, I would give it away for free. It's not that big of a deal for me to give it away, but I created a dragon. I worked on it in Nomad, and then I created it, I did the coloring inside of the Prusa slicer. I have videos on all of that kind of show what I did from beginning to end and how I created that. And those colors turned out magnificent. And the great thing about the coloring is that doing it inside of the Prusa slicer, I was able to do the painting, which allowed me to change the colors when I wanted to change them. So one great thing about 3D printing when you're doing painting is a lot like a lot of the other artistic paints programs that you can use. You can change the colors out. It's a little bit easier to do inside of the Prusa slicer because I just go in and change whatever color it is, and then that's the color I put on my printer, and it lets me get a visual of what those color schemes are going to look like. So for instance, on my dragon, initially the colors that I was going for was primarily white with a blue accent and then a little bit of orange. And you guys can see that dragon if you check out some of my other videos. But then later, the person I was printing it for changed that color to an orange. And so that changed the color scheme, but you'll see me play around with the colors in that video to just show what the differences are. And I think you have that capability in Bamboo. I'm still getting used to their paint feature and how they do it. I cannot hate on Bamboo. I really like their printing so far. It has been flawless. It's not as good as my Prusa, but it is very good. My Prusa by far is just a superior machine. And they are two different price brackets too. I mean, the P2S is not the flagship. My XL would probably be more in comparison to the H2C, but my XL just is absolutely amazing. The only mistakes it's ever had is basically when I've done something. And there was one time that there was a firmware issue, but it was so easy to fix and just back roll and just know that that was the problem because it was announced and everything was talked about. So there was no hiding it and not talking about it and you have no idea what's going on. And they instantly removed it, and they talked about it. So that was such great customer service and just the way that I think that a company should have handled it. But anyways, back to the STLFlix because they're my favorite, but it brings up a lot of topics with the color. So let me go back to the colors again. And then we have the book counter. And this one, I have to say, I did see it already because when I first came into the site earlier, it was on display and I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to print this one too. Just look at how cute that is. How many books have you read this year? I've seen a lot of these going around, and I know a lot of people that are avid book readers, and so this is so good. This is so, so good. And I could definitely make that happen, that color, the way it's colored. And sometimes I can accent the colors with some paint. So this looks so good. Let's see if this is a paint. I bet you this is a painted model too. No, it is not. This is colored. Oh, because it have this little tag here that would say painted model. Man. Oh, that is so good. That is so beautiful. What a cute little accent piece. I'm really inspired. I went to a gaming store recently that had some of the greatest decorations that I have seen in any of the gaming stores. And it had a bunch of like castle themes and some castle rooms with some big tables and the candles and the fireplace. And it was just so cozy and it was so nice. And that really inspired me to want to do that. I have a couple of areas in my house that I still need to work on. And I have a modern room, but I think that I'm going to change one of my rooms into that theme. And this would be an amazing accent piece for that room. So I may work on that and just see what I can come up with. But I would definitely like to bring this to that. So, wow, STLFlix, you definitely did it again. I am so excited about this. More things to print in my list of things to print. I recently printed some little chicks that I printed by Matt Myers. I would like to go ahead and show those because those were really cute. And I like to give shout outs to the places that I have printed and where I've printed those from. So let me go to that and take a look. Let me see if I can get there and still show you with some privacy so let me see if I can bring that up for you. Yeah. So this was the Matt Myers make. And let me show you the little chicks. And I'll have to add this info because sometimes when I get to talking on here, I just kind of go with it. And so I printed these little chicks. And do you see this picture? They turn out exactly like this picture. A lot of times I'll get some prints or I'll see some pictures of some prints and they don't always turn out the way that I expect them to. I mean, sometimes they look really good on the pictures, but when you print it, it doesn't quite feel like what I think it should be. But not with Matt Myers. Every print I've ever printed from this particular creator has been beautiful and printed magnificently. And I know that, as you can see, um, this particular creator has 4,313 followers. So a lot of people must agree with me because the work is just really good. So the I printed the chicks and they look exactly like you see on here. I printed them out and they are so cute. But now I want to kind of show you, I printed the eggs. Wait, let me go back there because I don't know if you got to see the eggs. So they can fit inside of these eggs. And what this particular creator did that was really great was that in part of this particular package, there were there was an egg that allowed you to lift it up so that way when you printed it, the gradient matched because a lot of times when you're printing 3D printed eggs, the gradient of the top and the bottom doesn't quite flow. But this particular creator put something in there to kind of take that away from you so you don't have to worry about that. And I thought that was super nice that they did that. But let me show you, I printed the eggs on my Prusa XL, so let me see if I can bring that up for you. Maybe I need to. Well, I'm not sure what happened to it, but let me get that up for you real quick. Still working on it, guys. Let me keep looking here. Trying to see if I can get this up. Don't think I can, maybe. Still working on it. Okay, I think I got enough on the screen now that, oh, well, you guys can see me do it anyway, so there we go. So here are the eggs. I'm just gonna do a little bit more adjusting. Yeah, okay. So here are the eggs that I printed, and these are gonna go in two parts, and I'm gonna be able to put the chickens in there, and then it's gonna look really cute for some family members that I'm gonna hand this out to. Oh, guys, technical difficulties. So I printed the eggs out. I printed the chickens first. They printed perfect. I've got a video on them. You can catch those on one of my shorts. But I also printed the eggs out, and those look really good. So they look really good. All together, beautiful, nice looking. Can't wait to see it. And I'm going to go up there and I'm going to put the chickens in the eggs, and then I'm going to send them off like that. I think they even have a little screw-in notch too, that because there wasn't notching in them to kind of hold them together. But I don't think they're like screw. But I'll find out. I don't know yet till I get up there and look at them. And that's pretty much all I got for today. Just so you guys know, I'm just a live channel. I just talk about what's on my mind for the day. And I try to talk at least every couple days about what's going on in my 3D printing world. So today I know that I talked about STLFlix. I talked about my Pierce XL and getting a Pierce-Core 1 Plus. I also talked about Matt Myers and his pieces, but I also wanted to talk about, before I left for the day, I wanted to talk about the Bamboo lawsuit that I just read about. I don't know how true it is that this is going on, but I heard that they got sued by whoever the company is that hosts Labubu. And so they took down all of the Labubu files off of the Maker World. Not sure if those are now gone from everywhere, like printables or some of the other places that we are able to get our STLFlix, but we are no longer able to get them, according to this article that I heard today, we are no longer able to get them on Maker World. And so I luckily have a copy of those because I printed some of those for family members, and now I have that file. But I think I definitely understand the company wanting to take that away because that is their intellectual property. And I totally respect people who are creators such as Matt Meyer, Key Creations, STLFlix, and I'm willing to pay the money to those creators because I'm thankful that they create the art pieces that they do. And I'm thankful that Labubu, even though that may start a stream of we can't print things or we won't have files available to us of things that we have available to us at the moment because of these companies getting sued. But 3D printing is getting much bigger and more people are starting to notice. And so I can see a lot of things happening. Pokemon, I'm surprised Pokemon hasn't come at some of these creators. But I enjoy the Pokemon prints too. I've got a couple of those too. But I hear that Bamboo settled and they agreed with the Labubu to just take it off of their site. And I don't know what the settlement was for, but kudos to Bamboo for settling and just agreeing that that was the right thing to do. Or maybe they just realized that they were going to lose. But either way, they followed suit and did what they needed to do and have taken care of that. So just know that that's something that I don't think is Bamboo Lab specific. I think that's just STL files that are available online specific. I think it's to the people out there creating things that aren't theirs or remaking things that they belong to other people, the ideas, the concepts. I don't know what that's going to mean for us as creators and as people who do prints. I like to share mine, so most of my files, I have a Patreon. I pretty much anything I put on there, it's like $5 a month. Just take my files. It's fine. Just take them, use them, sell them. But I know that that's what some people do for work, and I totally respect that, which is why I pay for some of these subscriptions that I have. So just wanted to throw that in there about Bamboo Lab and just talk about it a little bit. Anyways, I hope that everyone out there is having a great weekend. I will be going out of town next week, so I don't know that I will be posting that much. I'm gonna hate to be away from my 3D printer. I enjoy my 3D printer thoroughly. At the moment, I am refraining from getting a Prusa Core 1 Plus or a Bambi Lab H2C. Those are the next two printers that I want to get, but they both have a cost associated with them, and so although I want them, I am not a commercial seller at this point. I am going to do a couple of like local shows. I just want to go and participate. What I really want to do is I want to go and hang out with a couple of people who are selling other things and just kind of be at the shows so that I can maybe sell a couple of things, but it's not going to be like your typical 3D printing booth where I'm just selling dragons and those kinds of things. I'm going to take some other kind of items that I have that I want to sell. I want to print off some of the STLFlix purses. I think those would be cute to take and sell. Those would be really cute. I think that would give some people some 3D printed things. I also saw some violins. I think that license is open. I probably want to take those too. I got to double check that license though. But I don't know about selling some of the other ones that I do have commercial licenses for. We'll see. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to take and 3D print some things that don't look so much 3D printed. Like I recently 3D printed some vases. And really, unless you look at them, you really can't tell if they're 3D printed. They look like clay. And that is super nice. So I'm going to end this here, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you and see you soon. Leave lots of comments. Tell me what you think. If there's anything you want to see on STLFlix, like if I went over something too fast, or if you'd like me to go back a couple years just to kind of see how many STL files you actually get in the commercial license, it is amazing. I promise you, it is amazing. So many commercial pieces that are so worth selling. Just look at the ones I just showed you today. That is just 2 days worth, and they do it 3 times a week. It is that carousel. I'm definitely going to print that. That is so cute. Those are so adorable, and that's their pieces. So I could make those carousels, which I think are cute. Anyways, you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. You guys have a great